You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
All right, the streaming age is in full effect. HBO Max, and I'm going to do this video to give my first thoughts on it. Usually a lot of people are a little bit skeptical about signing up for a streaming service right away. I can understand that. There's so many different options. They all cost money. Which one is the best investment? So I signed up for the 7-day free trial of HBO Max today. We're going to take a look at the interface. We're going to take a look at some of the things that are up there. And I got to say, initial thoughts, love it. I really, really like it. I was very excited about Disney Plus when it came out, only to be a little bit disappointed with some of the content that's on there. There's not a whole lot. And that's not, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say it's Disney's fault. The reason is, obviously, they're going for the family-friendly approach. They want to bring families to sit down, stream a nice Disney movie or a nice Marvel movie. However, Disney does have tons more content than what we see under Disney Plus streaming, because they have a lot of studios that they own. They have a lot of movies under their wing, under different names. So, for example, something like TriStar, things of that nature. Movies that would be rated R, or would be rated PG-13, and have a little bit spicy content for people, but they don't necessarily want to put it on their Disney Plus platform because they want that to be family friendly. But with HBO, there's no holds barred. You're getting a lot. And I'm going to switch over. We're going to take a look at some of the content that's up there so you guys can get a look at what it is HBO Max is offering, and you can determine whether or not it's worth the $15 a month. Now, initially, I'm going to say this real quick. $15 a month for me is a lot of money for a streaming service. In fact, I canceled my Netflix simply because they had brought it up to like $15 a month. And now when it comes to something on Netflix I want to watch, I just reach out to one of my sisters or a family member who has Netflix so I can borrow their account for a day or two and just binge watch what I want to watch, and then keep it moving from there. So let's switch over. Let's see what HBO Max has to offer. Now, this is the initial interface. This is the homepage. And just like any other streaming service, you get a page with titles and then showing what kind of shows they have or movies. And initially we see here, Big Bang Theory, pretty good, Rick and Morty. And if you scroll down, they give you an option. I mean, obviously you got a lot of you don't have all the HBO series. I kind of went through this pretty thoroughly earlier. You don't have all HBO series, but you got a lot of the popular ones, and I'm pretty sure as time progresses, the rest will come out. So what we have on here, if you're a DC fan, this is going to be the streaming service for you. This is very DC heavy. Definitely, obviously, we know that the Snyder Cut will be coming to HBO Max, I believe, next year. And you also have Studio Ghibli, Looney Tunes, Crunchyroll collection. I mean, there is a lot of good content on here. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You also have all these other movies that are here. The thing of it is, the interface is, again, it's very, very similar to many other streaming platforms. If you want to see what HBO has to offer, you go into HBO. Everything in this section is HBO exclusive. And, if you scroll down, you initially would think, wait a minute, this doesn't look like a whole lot here. Netflix has more to scroll down on. But if you notice at the top, you can put them in alphabetical order, no big deal. But then you go from series, then they break down by movies, kids. So everything you see on here is not the only thing they have to offer. You could refine your search by just selecting any of the, and this is HBO alone. And let me tell you, let's go to movies, for example. I mean, tons. And this is only HBO exclusive content in terms of what they're having on their platform right now. This is not including some of the other selections I showed you in the last page, in the featured page. And you got tons of movies. Look, DC fans, Batman, the Killing Joke, I should say. All different types of movies and things of that nature. Some of them very recent as well. In fact, I saw a couple of movies on here, on this platform, that I definitely want to check out that I didn't get to see in the theaters that came out very recent as last year. By the way, Devil, if you get HBO Max or you get a chance to see this movie, it's very good. I just want to say, very, very good movie. But as you can see here, a big selection of movies. And as I said, it's all across different, time frames. I mean, look at this. Enemy Mine. This is an 80s movie. Very good movie. Louis Gossett Jr. and Dennis Quaid. A very good movie. If you've never seen it, I would recommend. I believe that's Louis Gossett Jr. playing the alien, if I remember well. So as you can see, just a slew a slew of movies. And I saw a movie, look, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, for those of you guys. And we're going to get into Godzilla in a minute because there is some pretty good Godzilla content on here for you kaiju fans. But there was a movie I saw here. Let me go up to M because I was pretty surprised. This is a movie I had right here, Ma. I had wanted to see this movie, and I was surprised to see it on HBO. So there's one example of a movie I want to check out. But again, if you scroll all the way up, I mean, this is just the movie category. We're not even talking about, if you got your kids, you got a bunch of different kid content here for the little guys and little girls. Documentaries, and I love documentaries. HBO is known for some pretty solid documentaries. Again, a whole list of them. I mean, there's so much content on this platform at launch. Just HBO alone's content would probably be pretty impressive. But again, we haven't even gotten into the other content yet. We're not going to go through all of it. But I know there's people, we're getting to a point right now where there's so many different streaming services. You really want to know what you're getting into before you make the investment. And they do run, this, by the way, just so people know, this is not like an ad, or this is just me being a general entertainment nut. And I wanted to share what I've seen so far on the HBO Max platform. I'm not getting paid for this. HBO and me don't have a partnership or anything. Just remember, look at my channel number. I only have 19,000 subscribers and not quite there yet. And then you got the comedy specials, which HBO has a lot of great comedy specials. The list is not very long, but again, I'm sure they're going to add a lot. One that I did see that I remember loving a lot, the Dana Carvey special. That's really good. So I'm happy to see that there. Chris Rock's, some of his stand-up specials are really, really good. So I'm looking forward to really going back and watching some of these, and then some of the sports stuff too. So I mean, this is just HBO. This is not even some of the other series and channels that they have featured. I mean, even under search, a lot of us kaiju fans, Godzilla fans, we knew that Godzilla was coming to HBO Max, right? So check this out, right? I was looking. I was like, man, I don't see any Godzilla content. But then I type in Godzilla and boom, you got King of the Monsters, you got Raids again. You don't have the whole series. You don't even have the whole Showa series. But again, those are going to come later. But you got Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla vs. Megalon and Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Some of these movies, I think in particular, Godzilla vs. Megalon, are kind of tough to find even on DVD. I believe Godzilla vs. Gigan is a little bit more available than it used to be. The same with Hedorah, but I know Godzilla vs. Megalon tends to be one that people have a hard time finding. Well, good look, guys. It's on HBO Max. Son of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, there's two versions of the 54 Godzilla. I'm assuming one is the American version and the other one is the Japanese version, but I haven't looked through them yet, so don't quote me on that. But again, it's amazing the amount of content you have at launch on HBO Max, and I'm really excited to really go through a lot of this content. Another thing, so DC, let's check out the DC stuff. I mean, a slew. You got the I didn't even know this was on here. I just found this out. The Batwoman series, for those of you who like that. Not big on that, me personally, but look, there might be some people who like it. Wonder Woman's on here, Justice League, Jonah Hex, Aquaman, Steel, Shazam, which I really love. A lot of the Batman animated movies and TV shows. So look, even Joker's on here. The original Batman, The Killing Joke, Batman, The Dark Knight Returns Part 1, Batman Dark Knight Returns Part 2, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. So, I mean, just a slew of DC stuff. I mean, incredible choices. Look, even all the original Batman movie collection, which, you could probably stop at this one right here. That's okay. Forever is okay. I like Forever mainly because I thought Jim Carrey was great. And this one, oh Jesus. But again, just a lot of good content for DC guys. And there's going to be more to come. Obviously, you have the Watchmen show as well. And then if you're concerned, oh, what about my kids? What kind of Cartoon Network? My son was raving about this because he likes to watch this show. Let me see if I can find it here, called The Bubble. Let me see. It was up here, I believe. Not Adventure Time, not that one. It was up here early. Oh, wait. The Amazing World of Gumball. My son loves this show, so he was happy to see that there. Just a bunch of stuff for the kids. And if you wanted the kids to enjoy some of the older stuff, I mean, they even have the old Looney Tunes, which when I saw this, I was kind of excited because I grew up on the old Looney Tunes. But right here, Looney Tunes, Adult Swim. So there's a lot of good content on here. Turner Classics. This would excite my wife because she loves a lot of these old movies. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, again, there's so much content on here. And I'm 100% sure I have not gone and I was going through this for about 2 hours early this morning when I signed up, because I got to tell you, the amount of content on here is insane. I really, this is the first time I'm going to say this about a streaming service, but I really think the $14.99 a month for HBO Max is worth it. You know, Netflix has a lot of content too, don't get me wrong. And depending on what you like on the Netflix platform, I do believe for you it might be worth $14.99. For me, it's not, because there's only a small handful of shows on Netflix that I really enjoy. And a lot of the movies on there I've either seen already. You know, HBO has this one advantage where they tend to be the first to get the new movies on television in terms of like cable and stuff like that. Netflix tends to get a little bit later. And there's just a lot of shows on Netflix that for me are just not good. You know, I love The Ozark. Obviously, I love Stranger Things. You know, I like the Lost in Space series and a small handful of others. But there's some series on the HBO Max platform that I haven't even seen yet. And there's some that I definitely would like to go back and revisit, like the Oz. Oz was a show I never got to finish watching. Even HBO, I stood away from HBO a long time. Every year, I would only resubscribe to watch Game of Thrones. But now that they have the service, it's like you get access to everything HBO. On top of that, all the other content to come with it. I mean, I've never sat down to watch The Big Bang Theory. So, and I've heard so many things about it being funny. So now I have an opportunity to check that out. There's a lot of documentaries on HBO I never got to see because I would only subscribe, once again, for Game of Thrones. But now I have the opportunity to watch them. So I got to say, considering it's a launch, I'd say they did a really good job loading the content in there. And to think there's still more to come. But there is one thing that does bother me. This is just a little pet peeve of mine. So when you go to a streaming platform, whether it's Netflix or whatever the case may be, and you decide you want to watch something. So let's say, for example, you know, I'm not going to show it on screen because I'm actually going to be hitting the play button. But what I'll do is I'll pause it so I can show you what I'm talking about. When you hit a movie to watch, usually, like, let's say, for example, on Netflix, there's a little arrow on the bottom. You can click that, and then you get the details of the movie or the show. And if it's a show, it'll show you how many seasons, how many episodes. They don't have that here. Basically, once you click the show or the movie, it takes you right to the start. And then this is what you get. I'll show you right now. You basically get, you can start it, and then this is what you get here. There's not really, and then you go down here, you get the details. You don't really get to check this before you're like hit with the option to play the show. This is actually much better. The example I was talking about was mainly for the movie, but this is actually a lot better. So let me go to a movie so I can show you what I'm talking about. Again, this is just an option that I like. So you see here, if I hit add, that puts it on my playlist. That, or I just hit the button. And then once you hit, boom, the movie starts. There's no option to check anything. You got to pause it. You get the description off here to the right. Then you got to scroll down and get the rest of the information. You know what I mean? That's just a pet peeve of mine. I just usually like to read the little description and check other possible things about the movie before it pops on the screen. But again, that's just a pet peeve. Outside of that, I'm very pleased, and I can see myself keeping this after the 7 days. Especially, this for me is a replacement for my Netflix, because Netflix I used to pay for, I canceled it a long time ago. And like I said, I usually just kind of go back to Netflix to watch The Ozark, Lost in Space, or, you know, there was a show there that I like called The OA that's canceled. So that's one less show for me to watch there. And there was, again, a small handful of shows. And you would think with all the content on Netflix, it wasn't worth it to me to pay $15 a month, basically waiting for different shows to come out throughout the year. However, on HBO Max, there is so much. And I am looking forward to just going brain dead streaming some of these shows and some of these documentaries and some of these movies. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I just want to share my thoughts on HBO Max. I think it's a good investment for $14.99 a month, especially if you gave up on Netflix. If you still want Netflix with this, then, you know, you might have a choice you want to make depending on your budget. But considering I've had the free $14.99 waiting in the wings for a streaming service that I thought Disney Plus would replace, and I hardly watch Disney Plus at all. It's mainly my kids. Now I found HBO Max is going to be the spot. Plus, Chernobyl's on here as well. So if you haven't seen Chernobyl and you're considering getting HBO Max, do it, because that is a great show. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comment section, did you sign up for HBO Max? What do you think so far? I know it's only been a day, but sometimes people will sign up and they'll start binging right away. So what are your early thoughts? And we're going to stream tonight. So if you guys want to come on the stream, it's what I like to call Tinfoil Tuesday. We usually talk about oddities, aliens, conspiracy theories, crazy stuff. It's usually a lot of fun. So that'll be tonight. And until then, this is Rob. You guys enjoy HBO Max, especially if you're a Godzilla fan. There's going to be more Godzilla content coming on that, from what I understand. And man, I can't wait. All right, guys, have a good one. Hopefully see you guys tonight. Take it easy.